Hi, welcome. We are back and I think we are live. Give me a second here. I think we are, it says live, so I'm going to keep talking. I'm assuming we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. We are back for our next breast sleeping Q&A, our favorite thing to do with all of you twice a month now. And, we're ready to do another awesome Q&A, an episode with you, and just happy to hang out. So, yes, everyone's jumping on. Hi, Anna.
Yay.
Hi, Anna. Welcome. Yeah, Anna, I'm just going to just say real quick, congratulations, Anna. Anna was the runner-up grand prize winner for our scavenger hunt. That I know it was very shocking for her, but we tried everything we could to reach out to the first winner, and Anna won the prize. So
Yay!
I'm happy for you, Anna. Congrats, Anna. See, it does happen when things are
lots of great prizes as well. I was looking through the list yesterday. Oh yes, lots of great prizes.
Yeah, she's got great prizes, including one of the Love to Dreams that we're going to be giving away today. And also she's going to be getting the new Hush version of the Even Flow Advanced Double Electric Breast Pump. So she's got quite a few great prizes. Very shocking, she said. Yes, very shocking. That's a good message to get, like when you get that kind of a message. Sometimes messages are like, and then that's a good one, right?
Definitely.
So we're excited to be back with you guys, and I'm here with my favorite co-host and partner, Rebecca Michi. She is sitting next to me, as you can see. Let me do for a minute. Let me just introduce myself and I know you guys are like, how many times can you do that every time? But the truth is that we just have new people who join us every single day. I've been watching our private Facebook group, and it's just like, every day there's like 40, 50 people coming in, and just moms from all over the world. And so we are just thrilled to have you. If you are new, we want you to go ahead and tell us right now. Just let us know that you're new so that we can welcome you in properly. And everyone who's here and been here for a while has been you at one point. So we are going to take the time to welcome you as we always do. Okay. And so for those of you who don't know me very well, I am Shari, and I am a registered nurse, a certified nurse midwife, and an international board certified lactation consultant. And I've been doing this with moms and babies for over 27 years now. And just the best part of all these years really has been to be able to spend time with you guys all over the world, to know that when we talk and when we come on here live the way we do, that we're able to reach out all across the globe, bring this community together, and provide information, education to all of you who may not have that access from the people close by. And I think that's the part, even though sometimes it does feel a little more removed than when I'm sitting face to face with a mom, there's something about the fact that we can reach so many of you who I know I would never be able to speak to, and that you wouldn't be able to speak to each other. So there's something very, very special about this. We sometimes hate technology because it doesn't always cooperate, but I will take the bad for all the good that it's been doing, especially for what we're providing and plan to very shortly, which we'll be announcing in a little while. All right, so that was me. Rebecca, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Rebecca Michi. I am a Seattle-based children's sleep consultant and author. I work with families of children under 6 years old, so gentle, no cry sleep consultant. So I'm not advising families to leave their children to cry it out. I've been working with families for years. So Shari and I have nearly 50 years worth of experience working with families in many, many different capacities. One of the reasons that I love doing what I do, we do this twice a month, every other week we do this. One of the reasons that I love doing this is I have two daughters who are now teenagers, so I need my own support group for that, to be honest. But I remember what it was like having young children, infants, newborns, and not having the support. I didn't have the support. My daughters are now 15 and 13. And I gave birth to them. I was living in Brazil, and there was very, very little support. And so I know what it's like not to have that village, not to have the breastfeeding support. And I got breastfeeding support from a lactation consultant via email And I was taking photos because we had a fancy dancy digital camera then. It was brand new, and I was taking photos of the latch, and I was emailing them to this lactation consultant to see is this okay? And it can be really tough if you don't have that little village around you, which so many of us don't have nowadays, that we want to be your village. We want to be there helping you and supporting you in your parenting journey, not just with the sleep and not just with the breastfeeding, but with everything, because it really does take a village, and we really want to be that for you to make this as easy as possible.
No, absolutely. And, you know, I think that there's just so many things online. There's so many groups, and they're great to be able to connect with other moms. What I love about what we're doing is that combination of mom to mom support and the village that you're talking about and the community, but also the ability to access these really important classes that we have and these Q&As that we're going to be able to share our knowledge and our experience with all of you, having worked with thousands and thousands of families and moms. So it's a great way for us to answer your questions. Unfortunately, we get not unfortunately, but we get a lot of questions, as you all know. And so we can't always answer all of them. That's what the private group is really great for, to post in there. And as we launch the membership site coming up very shortly, you're going to have a lot more access to get your questions answered. So I'm excited about that. Is anybody excited about the new membership? Because we're building a platform. And there's going to be just a great opportunity that, of course, we will extend to all of our community. You'll be the first to know. Okay. So I'd love to get some hearts going across the screen right now. And let's get some hearts for our amazing partner, and that is Love to Dream. Okay, we've been working with Love to Dream for a couple of years now, and just absolutely love them, adore the product, but adore the people. I don't know. It's like kind of like, I love this product, but I love these people, and they're here in the chat room with us. And so well, let's just say this: it needs to be both. Right? You want to know that the people behind a product are really just of the highest integrity, of the highest heart, and that's what's coming through. And that's why the product's so good, because so much heart coming from them and from it. The designer, Hannah, is in Australia. I love her too. Hopefully we'll have her back on with us. It's been a while. But here in the States, my team, I love you and we'll miss you. We're going to miss you. We're not going to be in LA, so we're going to miss you this time, unfortunately. But they're here, and we're going to be giving away some great, great prizes today, of course, as always, from A Love to Dream, which I will show you in just a few minutes. I want to also tell you that we have started something new. So that means that when you're here, you can enter to win the prizes. But if you wanted to ask your question live, we will be giving away a special prize just to the people who ask their question live. So random drawing of anyone who asks live. All right. So let's do this first. If you would like to get the links for everything in the show today, including the link to ask your question live, just type the word baby right now here in the chat. Okay. Type the word baby and you will receive a message from me. Okay, you'll have to type the word baby again in the message, and it will give you all the links from today's show. Your reminder has the link to ask your question live as well. All right, so if you want to just go ahead and type the word baby, you will get all the links, and then we can have your, I think I also have something I put on the screen here. Let's see, I think I can put it on the screen to ask your question live. Did I do that? No, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. Hold on. You see, like, isn't that scary? Like, I can't even remember if I did it, and I actually did it.
That's not scary. That's everyday life.
Scary. Okay. So to ask live, this is the link. It's a little bit complicated, bit.ly/live10318. And it's also in the message. Okay. It's in the message. Don't worry. Then you'll be able to click right through. I think I also put it in the post too. I think it's right there in the post, okay? So you'll find a way. Anytime during the show you want to jump on, ask your question live, I can see you here. Just hang on when you get on, and then you guys will all be entered into a special drawing for an extra prize, all right? So how about we go ahead and start with the questions, because there's a lot, as always, all right? So let's do that.
Good stuff.
All right. So Rebecca, I will start with
Mm-hmm.
you, okay? Let's
Yep.
do a sleep question. So here's a question from Amy, and Amy is one of our members in our group. Hi, Amy. She said, sleep question. My daughter is 7 months, and we're trying to get bedtime to be from 7:30 p.m. Till about 7:30 a.m. We're having some success, but nap times are still hit and miss. What is the best way to go about getting a nap routine down?
Okay, great question. It's You're seeing that you're getting those results at nighttime. Excellent. Nighttime does develop first. Great. Naps can be a little bit wonky, as you're seeing. Naps are wonky. And they're trickier, much trickier when it comes to learning anything. And it's a completely different area of the brain that manages the daytime sleep and manages the nighttime sleep. So what I would do is start your day around the same time each morning. Now, this means that you may need to wake your child. And a lot of times families are just like, what? I'm totally on there. Do not wake a sleeping baby.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wake your child, and remember, this child's 7 months old. We're not waking a 7-week-old. We're a child 7 months old. So if you wake your child at around the same time each morning, that then means that your naps are going to be at consistent times. When we are falling asleep at the same time each day or each night, we have an easier time doing it. So just think about if you go to bed at 10:30 every single weeknight because you have to get up for school, you have to get up for work. Then on a weekend, you don't have to because you can sleep in, but you stay up later. At that 10:30, you'll notice that you get really, really tired. But then you'll sort of just come out of it and you'll just wake up and then you can, stay up to like 11 or something really outrageous for parents. 11 o'clock is outrageous when you're a parent.
Right.
But you'll still get that lull, that tired, because the brain, the body is expecting to go to sleep at that time. So if your child is, they get up at 7:30 and they're going down for their first nap at 9:30 consistently, the brain, the body knows that sleep is going to be happening at that time, and it comes into that lull, meaning that if you are trying to get your child down to sleep at that time, it's going to be much easier for that to happen. So waking your child at around the same time each morning means that your naps are going to be happening at more consistent times. I don't like to just sort of have a exact time to wake a child up. I like to have a window, so it could be between 7:15 and 7:45 or whatever your window is. But it just means that anything before the start of the window, you're still going to treat as nighttime. But it means then at the end of the window, if they're still asleep, you will then wake them up at that time. It then keeps those naps a little bit more on track. Make sure you have a consistent nap time routine is really important. I'd introduce this from around 12 weeks of age. Same thing, same place, same order whenever you're at home. Again, this triggers the brain, cues the brain up knowing that sleep is coming, makes it easier for your child to fall asleep. As well, you may need to even work on relaxing your child a little bit more before you work on that nap time routine. Children who are napping for 20 minutes or less, the brain is really, really stimulated and overly stimulated. And this happens a lot with children who have a more intense or spirited temperament. They're just so awake and so alert that they get very overly stimulated. So a walking wind down, scooping them up, walking around with them for a few minutes before you begin a nap time routine can help their brain relax just a little bit more. That means that sleep can be much more successful. So actually spending the time winding your child down and relaxing before the nap can be the difference between a 10-minute nap and an hour-and-a-half nap. So the wind down and the nap time routine within the awake time is really, really, really important.
Mm-hmm. Naps are always such a big question. It's just one of those most basic things that any little tips really make a difference. And sometimes it's developmental too, and it's stages, just like everything else, like with breastfeeding, with sleep in all different ways. You're going to go through these different stages with your baby. And so many times, Rebecca and I will talk to you all about the idea that understanding what's normal so that you don't have these unrealistic expectations of what your child can do or what they should do, or the fact that it should always be consistent or it'll never change. really will help you. It doesn't always help you to feel more rested, but it can help you to feel less anxious and be calmer about the fact that things are normal and that things will not stay like that, and this is okay. And and to really identify what's normal from what's not normal. And that's too, we don't talk about that much, but understanding the normal will also help you identify when there may be something to get checked out. And so versus like everything seems like a panic and you feel like, well, I don't want to keep calling. You want to know when to be able to call when there is something really, or have the baby evaluated when there really is something not right. So I think that knowing the normals just can have emotional calmness and also prevent physical problems like real issues. So it's a really good thing. Also, when you think something's abnormal and you try to fix it, sometimes you can actually be creating problems that never really existed. And so there's so many convoluted things that's why we spend so much time with all of you explaining normals, dispelling myths, explaining misconceptions and misinformation, and why I love to see you all here, because I think that being able to get this information from us in a way where you're like, okay, these are my advisors, I trust them. We're gonna bring you sound information, and it's not just gonna be it may be conflicting with what you read, but it is evidence-based, and it is sound, and it is gentle, and it is based in the norm. So really great. I want to just take a moment with Love to Dream to show you what we have for our prize and about this product. It's more than just a prize, okay? It's actually a wonderful tool that will help your baby to be able to sleep a little bit better, sleep a little bit longer, be able to self-soothe, to feel that feeling of being swaddled while still having access to their hands, in the sense of being able to bring hands to midline, bring hands to their face, and sleep in a comfortable position that is more natural and normal for them. Okay, you can see babies, you swaddle them down, and the minute you release them, their hands go up. Okay, it is just the natural place for their hands to be. And so this here is the swaddle up. I will show you. Okay, there's a swaddle. You can see it right there. And this is the swaddle up, and it comes in different stages. Stage 1 is right here where the hands are in. And then stage 2, you can see that there is something called a 50-50, actually a little video. How about we play the little 50-50 video? We haven't done that in a long time. I can play you a little video so you can see how it is in action. If any of you guys are using the Love to Dream swaddle ups and want to comment here, let us know how you're doing with it. I'd love to hear from you. And we have somebody who just jumped in for a question. Maybe we'll do the question before we do the video. Let's do that, okay? Yeah. You never know when somebody's like, I got 2 minutes, I got a baby in my hand, and I need to be able to get back. All right. So, Belinda, are you ready if I pull you in? It looks like maybe. I can't really see you. Let's see. Let's try. I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing. I see something, a dark screen. Let us know how you're doing with it. I'd love to hear from you. And we have somebody who just jumped in for a question. Okay. First of all, turn off your computer because I can hear myself. When somebody's like, I got 2 minutes, I got a baby in my hand. Okay, Belinda, you're on live. Belinda, are you ready if I pull you in?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you have to turn off your computer.
I don't know. I see something on the dark screen. Here, let me turn my computer.
Turn off your volume on your computer. Okay, can you turn off the sound on the show?
Oh, sure.
There you go. Turn off the sound. Okay, turn off the sound. Mute the screen of the show that you're watching.
Okay.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, really, I just wanted to know how this worked. I like to test things before I do it so that I go, okay, I know what I'm doing, so I don't.
and I was too quick to pull you in?
A little. It's okay. I'll know for next time when I'm ready to ask a real question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fine. We're fine just saying hi to you.
Hi, I watch every time.
I know you do. That's why I was excited to see your name there and to meet you face to face.
Well, I actually found you through baby guy, Jamie.
Awesome. Awesome. So many
One of his
people here.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So,
all right. Well, if you don't have a question, we can just say goodbye and we can keep going with other people's questions and definitely jump back in the next time.
I will do so. Thank you.
All right, Belinda, take care.
Bye.
Bye. So cute. All right, awesome. Well, she got it. She figured it out. Now, the rest of you jump in with your questions, okay? Because we want to see your faces. It's really fun for us to see you face to face and answer your questions. Sometimes, and part of it is some of these questions, it's great when we can ask you an additional question and get a little more information. And so the back and forth that you can all watch is really educational for everyone. So if you want to do that, go ahead and jump in. Let's play the little Love to Dream video here, okay? All right, so let's do this. And here we go. All right, well, that worked seamlessly.
Which is unusual for us.
I was surprised when it worked. Isn't that terrible? That's so great. No, it's really great to be able to see that in action. That's the 50-50. I actually have one right here. The 50-50 is the same up, swaddle up position, okay? But it has a zip off wing, okay? So that you can start to transition them. This will zip all the way off. Start transitioning them as they start to get to the point where they can roll. You know, somewhere between around 4 months, you know, but just watch your baby because all babies are different stages. But that's the perfect thing for a transition. So that's the 50-50. We'll be giving away a couple of them. So just, you know, make sure that you type the word baby that you entered in. That'll get you the entry. And then if you're joining us, and we do have somebody else who jumped in now, so I'm going to bring her on for a question. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully I can see her. It seems really dark. Let's see again. Oh, Anna.
Hey.
Hi. This was our grand prize winner. Hi, Anna.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Really happy because I've never thought that I would be happy over a pump. Right on time because mine is giving up on me. So I changed every single part, and apparently it's the pump that's like doesn't like me anymore. Like
that's awesome. Well, that was perfect timing for you to get the even flow, which I don't know if you know that I helped them to design that breast pump.
That is so cool.
So yeah, so I helped to design the pump. It has all the features that I love that are made in that pump, and it also includes not only simply breastfeeding, but it includes the breast pumps and briefcases classes when you get that pump, so you'll be able to watch that for free.
Oh, that's freaking cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great pump. So happy for you. What's your question?
Okay, so I have a 14-month-old now, and I need her to sleep through the night. I don't know if it's because of her now that she's fully walking and then she loves the world and wants to engage in everything, or I don't know what's on. Her doctor says she's perfectly fine, but I can't keep her to sleep during the night more than 4 hours straight. So I just need help in that sense.
Okay. How does she initially get to sleep at the very beginning part of the night?
So basically, I have a 6-year-old. We do the same routine. We mellow down. We read books in order for them to calm down. Then I dedicate myself to the little one. Everything is off, no noise, no nothing. I breastfeed her, and she falls asleep in that point. But then 4 hours later, she wakes up.
Okay.
And she'll wake for at least an hour or two, and then go back again. So I'm laughing asleep. That's why I look so horrible. So I'm like, I need help.
Okay. So there's probably a couple of things going on here. As she is breastfeeding to sleep, she's needing to breastfeed back to sleep. So that's one of the sort of things going on. It's normal to wake. Waking is completely normal. We all wake between 2 and 6 times a night. So we're not trying to avoid the wake-ups. We're just trying to avoid you having to help with the wake-ups. But the big long awake period that you're experiencing, that sounds a lot like a regression to me. So when you know that there's nothing wrong, that there's no, she's not, doesn't need a diaper change, she's not hungry, but just a big long awake period during the night often looks like is a regression. Is it fairly new that this long wake up has been happening, or has it been going on for a while?
It's been going on for the past week or so. I lost track.
Okay.
It's a little more than a week, so.
Okay, so it's fairly new. It's not been going on for months and months. No. Okay. It sounds like it's a regression. So it doesn't mean that there's nothing that you can do. I would make sure that she's getting plenty of awake playtime during the day in her sleep space, so that she's able to practice these new skills that she's learning. And you may want to think about teaching her to be falling asleep a little bit more independently with some gentle sleep training. That may actually help. Does she nap once or twice a day?
Okay, she'll nap twice a day, but about 10 minutes. But if she hears any noise, she'll wake up immediately.
Okay. You may want to actually transition her to 1 nap a day. Again, that's another sign, is having longer awake periods during the day. The average age to drop down to 1 nap is 15 months. So between 12 and 18 months is pretty normal. The average is 15 months. So she's kind of there. So I would actually start working on the transition to 1 nap first, then see then what that does with your nighttime. Continue to make sure she has plenty of playtime, awake time in the sleep space. That will then help her if she is practicing anything. Then you'll see where things are, because it may be she starts sleeping much, much longer stretches. She won't just suddenly start sleeping through the night, but she may get 6-hour stretches. And then that's easier for you, obviously, than if it's 4-hour stretches. So she may just sort of drop down to 1 wake up. Then you can think about if you want to do some gentle sleep training or not. That would be teaching her to fall asleep independently at the very beginning of the night. Then she can do so then during the night when she naturally wakes, which is something we all do. She'll then have the skills to get herself back to sleep.
Okay, that sounds even better. Yeah, because I'm laughing asleep, and I'm telling like, I tried everything. Like, as a mom, you ask other moms, what are you doing, because they had older kids. For example, with my kid, my mother helped me with her, so I'm kind of like starting brand new with this one, so it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. So I'm gonna follow what you said.
Great.
Awesome.
So just take it slow. There's no hurry. Just go nice and slow, especially with that transition to 1 nap. Work towards that. So it may take you a couple of weeks, but as you transition into the 1 nap, getting more consistent with that, you'll begin to see improvements with nighttime.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. You're definitely entered to win.
Thank you.
So cute.
Bye, sweetheart. All right.
So sweet.
Fantastic. I see Belinda here in the chat again. Give me a thumbs up, Belinda, if you are looking to jump back in for a question. I can't tell. There might be a delay for her to hear me. So I'm going to answer a question and then we'll come back to her. Okay. So let's do a breastfeeding question. Oh, she popped up. All right. So breastfeeding question. This question was, there were several this question came up several times in the private group recently. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk about it here because it's something that obviously everyone wants to know. And this came from Morgan. She said, has anyone had any success weaning your baby off of a nipple shield? I'm a first-time mom, and my daughter is a month old. I try to practice latching with her, but she doesn't hold her latch because she's used to being able to let go when we use the shield. She gets so frustrated trying to get back on and can't get it. I wish the lactation consultant had helped her latch instead of just giving me a shield and sending me on my way. Okay, so Morgan, and this is super common, and it's one of the things I just want to address because it happens often in the hospitals. They either, one, don't have the knowledge of what needs to be done in order to help you get a better latch or why the baby's not latching, or two, they don't have the time to spend to really get you that good latch. And so they're given out like kind of willy-nilly. And I see this in my practice, moms coming in and I'm like, oh, why did they do that? But that's not actually always the problem. Like sometimes it really is a good thing to have it. Babies who are having a difficult time latching because maybe they're small and they're premature, their mouths are small, they're having difficult time latching directly to the breast, or sometimes if the nipple is very flat or inverted, it can make it impossible to latch right away. So, nipple shields are a great tool. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I actually pulled up a picture so that you can see what a nipple shield is. Okay, this is a nipple shield because people use the term nipple shield and nipple flange like breast flange and nipple shield. They confuse the two. The flange is the piece on your breast pump that goes up against your nipple to collect milk. The nipple shield is a very thin silicone piece that goes up against the nipple to provide a bigger nipple or bigger space for the baby to latch onto. And, one thing I would say is that if you're going to choose a nipple shield, and I always recommend doing this with an IBCLC. I do not recommend just walking into Babies R Us or Buy by Baby now, not Babies R Us, they're not there anymore, or ordering it off of Amazon. And quite often people do this and then try to do it on their own. But if you're going to get a nipple shield, then try to get a contact shield. What you see here has a cutout, and that's a contact. Okay, that means that where the baby's nose actually goes up against the part where that cutout is, so that their nose is up against your skin and not against the silicone. But that being said, the problem with using a nipple shield when you don't need it, one is you probably not addressing the underlying issue. It could be that you're not even addressing the underlying issue. When it's not used properly, it could prevent the flow of milk. It can decrease the transfer of milk. And so it's not the nipple shield that decreases milk supply. When you hear, oh, using a nipple shield decreases supply. Not necessarily true. If you're getting a good transfer, meaning that the baby's able to get milk out with no problem, your body will not know the difference that there's a shield on there. Why it's so important to make sure that it's fitted properly, that your latch and position is still really good, because you need to make sure that's happening anyway, even with the shield. And then a weighed feeding to make sure that milk has actually transferred with no issue. Okay, so make sure all those things are going okay. Once you're already using a shield, then the next biggest question is like the ones we've gotten here, which is, well, how do I wean off of this? How do I get, and moms get pretty impatient with the idea that I'm using a shield, but I want to not use anything. They're such a pain. I have to keep, there's one more piece I have to worry about, and, it falls off. And it's true. It's not as simple as just putting the baby to breast. But however, if it was a difference, if it was a choice between breastfeeding with the nipple shield and and pumping and just feeding with the bottle and pumping, then I always go with the shield over exclusive pumping, because as much as there's an extra piece, it's still much easier to use the shield. And the baby is staying used to being at the breast, whether that shield is there or not. They're used to knowing where they're eating. And I find that transitioning from a nipple shield use directly to breastfeeding is way easier than trying to get a baby back to breast who's been exclusively pumping and bottle fed. All right. So, and the other thing too is that in all my years of practicing, I have never had, and I just want to say this, I have never had anybody who wanted to stop using their nipple shield, who desired to and couldn't, and had to use it the entire year. Never. So that being said, if there's been moms who just said, I just think it's easier, I like it better, and use it. But for the vast majority of moms, they're able to be done. It's just that getting impatient and thinking it's going to happen the next moment is not the goal. The goal is to make sure that the baby is gaining weight well, to make sure that the milk is transferring well. The goal is to make sure that you're getting your breastfeeding established and your milk supply established, and then having the patience to slowly wean off that shield with the baby. A couple of tips that I can offer you for weaning off of a nipple shield is 1, patience. 2, try to do it at times when the baby is not starving. Okay, make sure the baby's not super hungry. That might even mean hand expressing or using your breast pump a little bit right before the feeding if you can. Not waiting till they're so hungry, you got to put them on right away. Catching them early and just put them to the breast. When they're not super hungry or starving, then they're going to be more likely to be more patient of trying to get the nipple out. Remember, the baby has to pull that nipple all the way far back in their mouth. Now they've been used to something that looks more like a bottle. And they got to work to train them to do it differently, including the way they're sucking on it. You can also try to help them re-coordinate their latch and their suck more like what they would do directly on the nipple than what they do on a bottle, which tends to be more like the shield. Insert your finger or your pinky into the baby's mouth and help them even with the finger up. You always, when you're doing that, you're always using the pad of your finger in an upward position, or your index finger. It's so hard. This is backwards. So it's like that. But you insert your finger into the baby's mouth and help them by putting a little bit of gentle pressure downward while they're sucking. It helps to get their tongue to move forward, which is more like the baby sucking at the breast, okay, versus the tongue back, which they tend to do more with an artificial nipple or a nipple shield, okay? So it's what we call suck training. All right, helping that baby's tongue to lower down to the roof, to the floor of the mouth and out. All right, so do that for a moment or so before you try to latch them to the breast. I was starting to say a little bit of pumping or a little bit of hand expression to get that milk flowing so that they're not as less possibility that they're noticing the difference. And if they get some instant gratification, they may not fight you, especially if they're hungry and they want to eat. What I find is that most people who are weaning off of it, they try and they try and they try, and then just one day they just put the baby there without it and the baby goes on. And that's usually the way that it progresses. All right. So again, it's patience. Do not do things like cutting the shield. I've heard people say that, cut away little pieces of it each day till there's nothing left. These are silicone. They have sharp edges. You do not want to cut or damage the shield in any way. Okay, so don't do that. Do lots of skin to skin with the baby. Lots of skin to skin. The more skin to skin you do with your baby, anytime you have any kind of latch issues in any way, okay, or milk supply issues in any way, or just anytime, the more skin to skin you do, the more you will elicit your baby's natural reflexes and natural instincts to latch deeper and better and more efficiently onto the breast. Your baby has innate knowledge, okay? I don't know what else to call it. It's knowledge. They're born with this. Think about animals in the wild, mammals of all kinds, okay? Human mammals are no different than, the deer that are walking in front of me right now, or dogs or kittens, or, that know how to go and latch on. And it's because it's built inside of them. This is the way they eat. This is what sustains their life. God, nature, whatever you want to think of, is smart in every way about our bodies and about the way our bodies work together with our babies. And babies come out with certain instinctual knowledge that is born into them. It's when we suppress those instincts by wrapping them up and leaving them somewhere else, putting them down every time, and not allowing them to be skin to skin, or not allowing them to lay on top of us, which actually that position will help to stimulate those sucking reflexes. So one is, so that's kind of what I want to say about it. Be patient, get support from a lactation consultant. If it was given to you in a hospital, that should be your next appointment. Honestly, so if they give you one in the hospital, great, fine, okay. You should be calling an LC so that you can set up an appointment for as soon as you get home, because you probably will not have received the right instruction. And there was a reason why this happened to begin with, whether it was difficulty latching or whatever it is, okay? So that's kind of what I want to say about it. All right, awesome. Let's get some hearts. Has anybody here used a nipple shield or know somebody who has? Yeah. Does the nipple shield help your nipple to not dry out and feel the baby bite? No. You can still feel it through the shield, and it would not be a reason to use a nipple shield. Biting would not be one of the reasons. There are other tips for biting, which I've done a million times here, but I see somebody, Carrie is here in the chat, and I'm going to bring her in. I wanted to give her a warning before I just pop her here up on the screen, but let's pull her in so she can ask her question live. Here we go. All right. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Good. So I have a 4-month-old, and she feeds nicely. And even after I burp her lately, she's been spitting up like every time after I feed her. And the doc's like, "Oh, it's fine, but how do I help so she stops? Because I'm tired of having to clean it up."
It's a good question. And is this something that just all of a sudden started that she wasn't doing before?
No, she's always spit up a little bit, but it seems to have gotten more.
It seems to have gotten more. Have you noticed any difference when she's latching? Do you hear more gulping? Do you feel like there's more milk all of a sudden? Did she recently go through a growth spurt, or is she going through one now?
She could be.
She's been feeding a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, it could be a couple different things. The first thought that came to mind is, 4 months, she's always been a little, so let's put it this way. Some babies are just spitters, and as long as she's not projectile vomiting every feeding, it's not really anything to worry about. It really is more of a nuisance than a problem for her. You're just going to have a lot of clothes that you have to go through, and, get yourself prepared, have some extra blankets and things around so that you just be ready for it. So it's not so aggravating, right? But babies who spit up a lot and they have no weight issues, they're still gaining weight well, they're not crying uncontrollably, they're not in pain, they just spit. We call them happy spitters, okay? And lots of times what it has to do with two things. One, it can be that you just have a nice abundant milk supply and she loves to nurse, and so she overeats just a little bit and continues to suck and getting a little more than she needs, and the body regulates that by letting her bring the rest up, in any way she can. But the other thing is, and I can see my screen, my image is not so, it's pixelated. You guys can see me and hear me all right? Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is that all babies have sort of a weak sphincter, the esophageal sphincter. So the sphincter between, it's like the closure between the stomach and the esophagus, which is the tube that you swallow, okay, and the tube that also brings it all back. It can be weak in a baby. And so just by having a full stomach, it automatically comes up. The baby gives a little burp after a feeding, and it's a wet burp. It comes up with the milk. Okay. What you can do is some extra burping and not waiting till the baby's switching sides or waiting till the end of the feeding to burp her, but watching her cues of, does the baby pull? You latch the baby, a minute goes by, the letdown happens, and all of a sudden she's gulping, and then she starts pulling, and you're like, well, she's only been on for 1 minute, and you're trying to hold her there. What she's actually doing when she does this arching or pulling back is that she just swallowed some air, and really could use a burp even a minute or two into the feeding.
And we do quite often. I burp her a lot because she does do that.
All right, so that's good. I mean, and that's where you're doing the right thing. It's the burping. And it could be that even with all the burping in the world, it's that weakness of the sphincter, which will develop over time. Like it will get stronger. That there's really not much you can do about it. I would say that, not laying her flat down after the feeding will help. And then also remember, like I asked you at the beginning, if you're having a growth spurt, sometimes when the milk supply increases, whether that's from a growth spurt or just from her growing and needing more milk, the response to that is just an abundance that then they can get kind of drowned in the milk. They're drinking fast and drinking a lot, and it's going to come up. The main thing, Carrie, I think, if you're not seeing her crying a lot or in pain, which it didn't sound like that was the case. No, then it's not from excessive swallowing of air. And that would be my other concern. If you weren't on here and you had just typed out your question, I'd be wondering, well, could the baby have a tie? It's been going on since the beginning. Could there be a tongue tie or a lip tie where the baby's swallowing all this extra air because of a problem with the ability to latch onto the breast? But that doesn't sound like that's what's happening. And so because of that, I'm going to tell you that as much as it's a lot of laundry, it's totally normal. And you want it to be. This is the whole thing. So this is why we said this early in the program. The best thing I could ever tell a mom who asks me a question is everything's fine, it's normal, because the alternative to that is there's something wrong with her, she needs medication, she needs an evaluation. We don't want that, right? So you want my answer to come back and say, yep, that is normal. That's normal, because you'd rather laundry than medication.
Yes. Right. Well, and the pediatrician wanted me to add cereal to her. I'm not adding cereal.
No. I'm glad you came to ask your question. This is the reason why we do this. Okay, no cereal. There's no issue other than laundry. She's gaining weight. She's gaining weight.
She's gaining weight. She didn't gain as much this time as she had before. She kind of fell off the curve, But that's how she fell off the curve, or she dropped down on the curve? No, she fell off.
Completely off the curve?
Yeah.
So she's like below the 1%?
Yeah.
Okay, how much does she weigh?
12 pounds.
And she's 4 months?
Yes.
How much was she at birth?
5'15".
5'15". Okay. So she's gained a considerable amount of weight in the last 4 months. She started off small.
Yeah.
She started off small. Okay.
That's like my youngest daughter was 5 something. I don't remember. She was 5 something. She was about 12-ish pounds at that age as well. And she's still very petite.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally normal. And she's gaining slower, but she's gaining each time you go?
Yes.
Okay.
She's still gaining.
And she's hitting her milestones, and developmentally she's fine, and her head circumference is growing?
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. No issues at all. No cereal in the bottles. No anything.
She doesn't take a bottle, so I. Good.
There we go. How did you get that in your boob? I don't know.
No, you don't.
I don't know either.
There's absolutely nothing wrong. Why would you interfere with a child that is doing perfectly fine, and doing well for her? She's growing for her size. She's eating the way she wants to. She's actually regulating how much she needs and how much she doesn't. Overfilling her stomach would be a horrible idea. Her body's already saying it's too much and letting it come back out. We don't want to force them. I just posted an article on my page that I got all kinds of mixed feedback. People get really angry when I post certain things that they think I'm not shaming anyone. Okay. When I'm providing information about breastfeeding, I'm never, ever saying that moms who bottle feed or who formula feed are wrong or bad or anything like that. We honor and accept any way that you want to do this. And the most important thing is that you are happy and that your baby's happy and that it works for you. Okay. So but breastfeeding doesn't, but I'm still not going to dilute the message about breastfeeding and how good it is, because of that. All right. So I'm still going to deliver my message. And one of the articles I posted recently was a study they just did showing the difference in obesity. And this has been done before. This wasn't the first study, but the difference between pumped milk and formula in a bottle and breastfeeding at the breast, and how there are decreased risks of obesity even when it's pumped milk in a bottle. Okay, there's decreased risks of obesity when you're breastfeeding at the breast. So nursing at the breast prevents certain rates of obesity later. And why is this? We're talking about breast milk either way. So it's not just the milk, but it's about the self-regulation, and it's about the baby being able to self-regulate their hunger cues and how much they feel when they're full. And you can't force a baby who's at the breast to eat more when they don't want it. And even when they do, they'll spit up like this. Okay, with a bottle-fed baby, whether it's pumped milk or formula, you absolutely can overfeed them if not done right. You can, if you're not pacing the feeding, if you're not highly diligent in watching. So many moms who are using bottles are giving their babies to somebody to watch while they're at work and may not be as patient in pacing those feedings. So my intention for posting that article was to help moms to understand that if you are, and I know, believe me, I know that moms have to pump milk and some moms need to formula feed, and totally okay. But then if that's the case, be even more aware. Okay, that article was for them to be even more aware that, okay, since we already know that there's a little bit of an increased risk already, let's make sure that we're really paying attention to the volume that the baby is receiving and how slow and how fast we're feeding that milk and pacing those feedings. And the other thing too was, if you are pumping, I'm just going on a tangent here for anybody who's listening, because I know there's people who are watching her pumping their milk. The other part of that study was saying that there are properties in the milk that actually can be affected by freezing, and using, that there's the fresher the milk, the better. And so what I want to say about that is, that doesn't mean throw out your pumped milk. That doesn't mean throw out your frozen milk. Frozen milk is important. Having a little bit of a stash and having that extra, amazing. And donated milk, all important. But if you're going to store tons of milk and then start using the frozen stuff before using the fresh, I would encourage you to do it the opposite way. Always give the fresh milk if you have it. So if you're at work and you're pumping, feed the baby what you brought home the day before. The less you do to it, the better it is. And I've always said that anyway. Okay, the less we handle it, the less we have to warm it, the less we have to cool it or freeze it, the more we retain the properties of that breast milk. And so it's just another tip to always use fresh when you can, and when you can't, you can't. But okay, so there you go. So you're normal.
Yes.
Sorry to give you that good news.
It's okay. It's always normal.
All right, good. All right, awesome. Thanks for jumping in. Good question. All right. Now, I can't see. Oh, there you go. All right, there we are. We'll see you later. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Well, that was a long answer, but you know what? It just brought up a thought that I had from this week, because, sometimes we post things and we talk about things, and it's like it's just like our culture. It's just the way society is, with mom shaming and like everybody feeling like, what they do, if we talk about breastfeeding, if we talk about formula feeding, that somehow it's one against the other. And that, if somebody's breastfeeding or talking about their breastfeeding or their own joy with their own success about it, that somehow we're putting somebody else down. And that's so not the case. And so, I want moms who breastfeed to feel really proud of what they've been able to accomplish and to be able to say that. And I want moms who formula feed to feel really, really proud for their decisions, their choices, and for, doing the best that they can for their baby, whether they tried to breastfeed or they just decided not to. Either way is okay. Everything that, and you guys are hearing this from me as a breastfeeding educator and passionate about you. You know how passionate I am about you all breastfeeding. My class is free for all of you so that you can watch it. I want you all to have as much success as possible, but I also want you to feel completely supported in any of your decisions. And I hope that you get that from me and from Rebecca completely. And that's why I love working with Rebecca. I know we both feel exactly the same way, Moms shouldn't have to feel judged. It's hard enough. It's hard enough.
Oh my God, parenting is hard enough. Yeah.
Hard enough.
Everyone does their own thing. And everybody judges. That's the thing. It's like, oh, you shouldn't judge. We all do it. It's just a human thing to do. It's whether you say it out loud or not. So do judge away. We all do it. You're walking along the street and you see somebody, who's wearing flip-flops and it's like 25 degrees out. You're judging them. Of course you are. But it's whether you say anything out loud or not. That's when it sort of so don't think that, we shouldn't be judging.
And you don't know someone's situation. You don't know the reason why they may not be breastfeeding. You don't know the reason what's happening for them or what they've tried. And, it's something that I'm actually creating a video on right now about just like, what are the right ways to even address this with moms? If somebody tells you that they've stopped breastfeeding, I'm sure in most cases, they have tried all the different things. And so giving them more advice is probably not the right direction.
Yeah, no.
Loving on them and just, accepting them and knowing that they are the ones who are going to make the best choices for themselves. And so, it's all in good. It all comes from a good place, but sometimes it can be really hard for somebody who wanted to breastfeed and they were not able to. I think that why we do this is because there's so many people who really do want to breastfeed, but they get such bad advice that they're not able to, but not because it's their fault, not because they weren't, physically unable to, but they just couldn't get the right support. And I'm hoping that what we're doing here and with our new platform, that's going to alleviate so much of that, regardless of whether you can pay to be a member or you're going to watch the free stuff. It doesn't matter that you're going to get that support from the classes and from the community. And Rebecca knows me that's my number one mission in all of this. But, I think that to make a real choice for yourself and for your baby, whether this is about your birth, whether it's about breastfeeding, whether it's about parenting in every aspect, the only way to make a real choice is real knowledge. Without the real information, without accurate, real information, you cannot make a real choice. So I think that's what I want to say about it. And then when you get that real information, that accurate information, and you're completely knowledgeable, it is completely your choice. And I've said this over and over again that as a lactation consultant, I'm a midwife. First and foremost, that's my profession. Okay. I'm also a lactation consultant, but first and foremost, I'm a midwife. I support women. And, because I specialize in your milk, it does not mean that I specialize only in how you can breastfeed. I am an expert that will help you in either way, whatever it is, whether it's drying up your milk, weaning, not breastfeeding, formula feeding, or whatever. And so there you go. Just wanted to make sure you all heard that from me.
Yeah, and that's very much what we're about, is that whole village, is create, that you want support. You don't want to have people who are, you wouldn't have these people in your life who are going to be kind of bringing you down. You want people who are going to be helping you. It may not be what they did. Yeah. And that's fine. They did what was right for them. You do what's right for you. That. Educate yourself, read up as much as you can, and then make an informed decision. And then you've got that confidence that you are doing the best thing for you, the best thing for your child, and the best thing for your family. And then stuff everybody else. It doesn't matter then what anybody else thinks or feels. You feel confident in what it is that you've done.
Hey, Rebecca, I have the trailer for Simply Breastfeeding, and I want to play it for everybody because it's a good trailer. I got a lot of my clients on there. I'm going to play it for you guys, and I want to make sure that you all know how to get the free class because it's completely free. Okay, this is the website. Just go to simplybreastfeeding.com. You'll sign in. You do need to sign in, but it is free. Okay, so I want you all to, whether you're pregnant, you just had your baby, or you're an experienced mom and you're like, okay, I'd love to learn some more. Maybe I can help someone else, or I'll know for next time. Or you have friends that you want to refer, please send them over to watch the class. I'm going to put on the trailer real quick, and we'll watch that, and we'll come right back. Hold on one second. Let's see. What did I do here? Here we go.
Breastfeeding is something that is a learned skill. Wanting to have a healthy, happy baby, that's your instinct. Somehow with breastfeeding, we wing it. We don't take a class, we don't get ready for it, and think that it's just going to come to us somehow.
I wasn't convinced that I even wanted to breastfeed. But as I sat there listening to Shari's knowledge, I ended up gleaning more than I could have ever imagined.
It's something that we keep turning back to, and it's been invaluable. We just can't say enough how much it's helped us.
Remember, when you talk to your friends, a lot of them are going to give you reasons why they were not successful breastfeeding. The two most common reasons that I hear all the time is that I was either too sore, it hurt too much, I just couldn't do it, or I didn't make enough milk. Day one of your baby's life, your baby's stomach is about the size of a pinball. What that looks like is this little marble right there. Can you see? Right? That's how big the baby's stomach is. And they can't stretch it any bigger than this.
If you're watching this program, you've already taken the most important step towards your breastfeeding success.
That whole visual aspect of watching somebody do it is beneficial no matter how many books you read or how many people you talk to.
Having the video at home was like having Shari in our living room, which was great. Seeing it in a class is one thing, and then when you have the baby, it was, actually doing it was another. And having the video was great because we were able to see, again, how to do the holds and what's the latch supposed to be.
I think without the video, we might not be as successful as we are.
Definitely made my motherhood journey very easy. Preventative, I guess that's the word.
Slight differences in the way that you latch will make a big difference in whether or not you're going to be successful with breastfeeding. Lay the baby across your chest and holding the baby's head with your opposite hand across the baby. Let's go to the video and take a look at how this looks on a real baby.
The information that you'll be receiving today could be life-changing for you and for your family.
It's just helped me out so much. I probably would have given up a few weeks after my baby was born if it wasn't for the Simply Breastfeeding class. My baby is now 14 weeks old. She is exclusively breastfed.
Your child will continue to get the benefits of breastfeeding that we're going to go over in a few minutes. No matter how long you breastfeed, those benefits never decrease.
It's work. It's hard, and there's bumps in the road, and but there's tricks to get by.
When he breastfeeds, there's nothing more satisfying than he comes off the latch on his own and he just smiles at you. It's satisfying.
It is my experience that 98% of your success with breastfeeding is going to be your commitment and your confidence with us. And that's why this whole aspect of understanding how much your baby's supposed to be and how well prepared your body is to feed is one of the most important things that I can teach you.
Follow your instincts. They are there whether you know it or not.
In the world where we live, and there's so much information, it conflicts, it's almost overwhelming, you don't know where to turn. The breastfeeding class gave me the straightforward, simple advice that I needed to feel totally confident and empowered when I go in to do this amazing thing. And now I just look forward to nursing my baby.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. I don't think I've ever showed that trailer here on the show at all.
Nope.
Yeah, just I love watching. Those are some of my clients there who have taken the class. So many people just having such amazing success with just that little bit of knowledge, armed with that knowledge going into their birth, to know the difference about what they're hearing from different people. And so I invite you all, make sure that you all go and check it out, simplybreastfeeding.com, and just wait. We're about to come out with the whole platform, which is going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait.
I cannot wait.
Rebecca, we've gone over.
We have.
Always do. Always do. We didn't answer a ton of. We didn't have a lot on the sheet here, but we did get a bunch of people to jump in, which was really nice. As always, it's so great to be with you, and I'll be traveling starting next week, so we won't be back together doing this until the end of the month.
Yep.
All right. So and make sure that also Rebecca has a fabulous ebook too that I want to make sure that you all get. And that's part of the links that we just sent you. If you type the word baby here in the comments, you'll have received the links, and a link to Rebecca's free ebook is there as well. So make sure you download that and get that. And thank you again to Love to Dream. Thank you so much for your ongoing support of great information and everything that we're doing, and to supporting all these moms. We love you. Can we give some hearts and love to Dream? Like really, I mean, just fabulous, fabulous friends and supporters of new moms and babies everywhere, all over the world, really. And Breast Support Pillow. Anita's here in the chat too. Love you too. Mwah! Everybody check out Breast Support Pillow. Another one of my absolute essential favorite products. A bunch of you just tried it out and loved it. So, all right, we're going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. We will see you soon. Bye.